And I loved what the shaft did, what the cue did for the player. And I realized, well, there's technology out there that we have not explored yet. I really wanted to see cues designed for people, for each player, rather than one shaft fits all. We're achieving that this year. We're making the first, or our first, Predator custom Revo shaft.
Yeah. 20 years from now, you'll be looking for a wooden shaft like a hen's tooth. It just won't be there. It'll go the way of the skis have, tennis rackets, golf clubs. None of those products are made out of wood any longer, but they all were at one time. Just the way it's going to be. If you had a wooden shaft and you had a carbon fiber shaft, and nobody saw either, which one would you pick?
When we play pool, we use every side of the teeth all around, so that consistency is very, very important. Straightness is more critical than any other game out there. Then you add accuracy, flexibility, stiffness. When you talk about nodes, pivot point, you need to really understand, you need to master the game. We design every single shaft based on what the player needs to improve his game.
We want people to have the ability to use whatever joint they have in their butt, and the Revo fits it. We can give them a white vol plate, a black vol plate, any kind of material they want it made out of, we can make. We can give them any kind of tip, and we can make the weight different, heavier, lighter. So for example, if they wanted 3.5 ounce, and they wanted a certain tip with a certain vol plate, and they wanted a 5/16, 18 thread, that's all doable.
It's a level of customization that others haven't seen before. We design the different options not only with players, not only with our engineers, led by Paul, but also with our coaches, our pros, who were part of the process in the last 2 years. When I walk through our manufacturing, walk through our offices with our design team, and I see as much passion in them, I say anything is possible. And that's what we want to bring to the fans around the world. The ability to help you play one ball or two balls better than your actual level. Being able to win more games and more matches, and therefore have more fun. It's a Revo experience. It's a Revo shaft. What we've done, when you look at the process, it's mind-blowing what we're achieving.
So I've always believed that you want to make the operation or the process that goes into building something foolproof, so you don't have to check it. But that said, we have all those, as many as I could figure out, and we still have over 30 inspection points that every single shaft gets.
And we are live at the CSI Pro Arena in the Grand Ballroom of the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. CueSports International Expo features the BCA Pool League World Championships, the USA Pool League National Championships, and of course the Diamond Las Vegas Open 10 Ball. 128 players, double elimination, race to 7 alternate break, world standardized rules with no early 10 balls. Folks, we are down to the last 2 players of the winner's side bracket. This is George Tancha in the booth with Jeremy Jones.
Well, hello, George. And excuse me, our final day of the Las Vegas Diamond Pro Open. We'll have a day off tomorrow, and then Monday start the Predator World 10 Ball. A lot of them battling here. And of course, our final 2 winners, but we're getting down to, these are the guys that are looking the best in the tournament, but we're getting down to a loser side also that are fighting hard to try and take this title down. I think after this round, we'll have 6 players left.
Yes, it is. We started out with, I think, 12 today. We've had some great matches. We had a great comeback by Ralph Souquet, trailing James Aranas 6-1.
Yeah.
Came back to 6-5. 7-5.
Well, he also came back last night against Skowerski.
Skowerski.
Yeah.
And Skowerski's been playing very well.
Well, I've seen him play before, and he's another one of those Polish players that have improved, but now possibly the guy that's shown the most form so far is Chang. And, of course, Aranas playing great.
There goes the 6 ball straight to the side pocket. 3 ball gets kissed into the other side pocket with a good shot on the 1 until the 7 ball got there.
Yeah, and it's amazing that that ball that tracks one rail off the back of the rack comes in play with that 1 so often. I think it's more of the ball that the players sweat, you know, meaning kind of keep an eye on more than anything. And besides the cue ball, of course, you always pay attention to the cue ball on the break.
Exactly, and I always pay attention to the last rolling ball. It seems to get you quite a bit of the time. I don't know how or why.
Yeah, I guess it feels like the last rolling ball because
really
it's the one you're paying attention to.
Exactly.
But that one coming off the back of the rack seems to track with the 1 ball quite often. So this is where I think, you know, of course he excels at everything, but when little funny decisions come, I think Chang really plays the shots at the highest percentage.
Look how well he played that one. Wow.
Yeah. And I kind of wondered, I say it, some of us say it all the time, like certain players like the Ko brothers or like Chang, and of course the Filipinos, but they start to play it. But what if those guys have been playing one pocket all their life? How well would they move playing the game?
They're not getting my game.
Yeah, right?
He's spinning this in.
Yeah, well, that's about all he's got. Take a shot at it. Wow, he hit it great. Wow, one of the shots of the tournament there. And he's got to come with another one, George. And he really's got to kind of be not too concerned with the cue ball because the cue ball's definitely going into the 5 some kind of way. Unless he eases this in, he can maybe go between the 10-5. But if you go between it, you could get snookered behind the 9. So.
And he's
he hit it great.
He's going to come right up by the 9. He's going to it just barely broke away where he's not over the ball.
Well, he deserved that. A great shot on the 1 and a great shot on the 2.
If that's any indication to the rest of the match, Chang's going to have his hands full.
Well, I think just the entire tournament tells us that, with these two being the final 2 undefeated.
And you liked Chang at the very beginning. We spoke of it.
Oh, yeah.
And he was one of the guys you mentioned that would probably be at the top of the field.
Well, I kind of feel like he might be the guy, you know, that's the most steady in the world now of the top players. He's just always not going to play too far off of his game.
He steadily has made his way to this arena.
And I'll tell you, I'm pretty proud of watching James Aranas the last few years. He's we talked about in his first TV or setting here this week that, you know, I think he admitted to himself that kind of he had to get used to these big settings and you know, of course the talent's there, and I love the way he gets through the rack, but just settling himself and getting you know, getting control of his nerves and really trying to channel those nerves towards positive outcomes. I saw it in the last match where you said Ralph making that one heck of a comeback.
Sure.
But if you watched it, you could see James really, when he got his opportunity at the end to win the match, he really took his time and he was trying to get control of a big situation. And that's a good feeling when you do it because he made one heck of an out to win that match.
Well, he is 27 years old, and that's about the time it seems that they really come into their own, some of these players.
Yeah, it used to be that when I first started playing professionally, of course, you always ask questions from all the older players or the veterans, you might call them, but they always said 28 to 41, really your prime. I think that's kind of changed since the 90s now with the game getting so much younger, but I think it's still pretty consistent. It may be more like 23 to 41 now, right?
Sure. Well, there's so much information available on YouTube, for instance. You can Google. You have all these drills and things that players can execute at home and practice, and which really steps up your game. So yeah, that age has come down. They can learn so much faster. We got Chris Robinson just played Chang, and they had a heck of a match.
Yeah.
23-year-old. You have Filler. You know, you got several players in this tournament alone that are under 25.
Well, like CSI
very,
and
very
Predator also giving, you know, there's many companies out there that are giving the players a lot more opportunities to play in big events.
You
So.
know, last year when CSI put this together, the Diamond Las Vegas Open, and then the got with Predator for the World 10 Ball, I thought it was the best we'd seen. And they've stepped it up from last year. I think they've done a great job with this venue, and of course the field too.
Well,
But here's
James Aranas to break off in game number 2. And obviously, that these two guys have been very successful on the break. You can't get this far in this kind of field without taking advantage of when you're breaking the balls. We saw Chang break them pretty perfect with the 7 ball coming up in the way, and now Aranas with a nice break. And he's got a thin cut on the 1, but nothing too tough.
no, and he's got a nice path for the cue ball between the 8 and the 3. If he chooses to go
2 rails.
there. 2 rails, I'd have to come down and come back up again.
I think he might kill this with inside and hit the side rail and try and fall in that gap, you know, just in between. That way, just hitting it mild and taking a little bit of a shot on the 2.
And he did just that. Can he control? He controlled the speed beautifully, yeah.
And it was really about the line really helped the speed there. Once he caught the 2nd rail and had that good line on the cue ball, he had a lot of room to have good speed.
And with that spin on the ball, you know, you can control your speed better on that shot than just shooting it straight down and going up and down.
Yeah, and, you know, we play a lot of times these days on tables that kind of bounce a little bit, you know. So I tell people all the time, don't let it wander. Go ahead and you grip the ball and you direct the ball, slowing it down like that, catching another rail with the cue ball.
Yeah, that 2nd rail is so good for control.
Exactly. And now James in a prime position. He's going to have to, you know, screw the cue ball back off the 6 to the 7, and get off the rail doing it.
You know, he's going to get off the rail. He can come out.
It's actually kind of perfect there.
Yeah, he is.
He'll draw back about level with the 9, somewhere around there, maybe a foot away from it or so. No reason to really worry about the 9 here.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get off the rail with the cue ball.
Yeah, he should come back.
Yeah.
Oh, look how nice he does. He's done this. Well, folks, while he takes these balls out, we are sponsored by Diamond Billiard Products, Kamui, JB Cases, Omega, Whirlpool Billiard Association, and this is the CSI Expo.
You know, and James getting through that last match after, you know, being ahead by quite some margin. I think it was 6 to 1.
6 to 1.
You know, you kind of feel the heat when you don't, you know, he had an opportunity or two, not a great opportunity, but a couple to finish that match. So you kind of feel the heat a little bit as the match gets closer, right? But that can lead to a real big, like, sigh of relief going into this match. So see that a lot of times where, like, a James come off that match and play really, really well here.
Sure.
You know, kind of free rolling in a sense.
The momentum's there. I believe at 6-5, Ralph put him in he had 2 jump shots back to back and made them both.
Right.
And when proceeded to run out for the final rack.
Okay, that's got to go a little, but pretty good. You never want to rest on the rail, but still not bad.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do much with the cue ball, just stay with it.
Wow. Corey Deuel, 2 of the last 3 Americans standing are playing each other. Corey Deuel and Justin Bergman. And it's Hill, and unfortunately, Corey just scratched on the break. And
it's a wide open rack.
Pretty wide open, yeah. It's just a matter of getting from the 1 to the 2 to the 4, really. But I kind of feel like we might see some of James' best pool here in this hot seat match.
Yeah, it's his 3rd time in this arena, and since you mentioned that he's acclimated to this setting.
Yeah. Well, I think I think he appreciates trying to get used to it. You know, he's that kind of kid. He's obviously a student of the game. Just like Chang, really plays real natural position where the cue ball wants to flow naturally if possible, and then also when they have to redirect the cue ball with that talent they have, they do so very well. And we'll get you updates on those matches when we can on the outer tables. Let's get into the nitty-gritty here in the Diamond Open.
As Jeremy says that, I'll pull out the iPad. Michaela Tab, our referee, world renowned for her expertise in the arena.
Yeah, I could tell you some hits that she's called that nobody in the arena knew it was a foul. I mean, amazing the job she can do. Okay, Chang not really looking to change much off that first break. Just hoping doesn't get snookered. Yeah, he hit him pretty much
what
the
a
same.
nice break.
He missed that ball on the side, though.
Doing just a hair high, and I mean just a hair high. Nice stop on the cue ball, nice shot on the one ball, but no ball pocketed. Brings James to the table.
And James has got an odd position play on. He's so nice on the one, but there's a lot of traffic right there to try and play position on the two. And there's a 7 ball there that's kind of just making things difficult. If the 7 wasn't there, you could see that path between the 3-6 maybe.
Let's take a look at their path to this match.
Okay, he's getting between the 8-4. What a shot this is.
To come right between there, get that window between the 8-4.
Yeah, and it was going to be difficult no matter what, and that's where going that natural route is so huge. It always lends a little more comfort when speed control is needed.
All right, well, James is shooting. His path to this hot seat match comes through via Rory Hendrickson, Chris Smelling, Maximilian Lechner, Ian Costello, Justin Bergman. We saw him on the stream last night. And then just a little bit ago, Ralph Souquet.
Well, James now just a new representative, a new player for Predator. Having some showing here to really his first big event with his new equipment.
Sure, actually both players are Predator, represent Predator. Sponsored by.
Okay, a funny shot here. This is one usually the top players will kill 2 rails off the side rail, end rail, and just float up towards the spot. I don't think he can hit high English, and he certainly doesn't want to go low inside and get steep on the 5. Yeah, you see that shot there? It kind of bit on him a little bit, but that's actually the correct play.
Mm-hmm. Instead of swinging it over to the side using that 3rd rail?
Yeah, because you're going to get pretty steep on the 5.
Right.
I know he's steep here, but it's a better steep because he's got a clear cue ball just to go to the right of the 9 there.
Yeah. At worst, he'll bump the 9.
Yeah, so with the 6 very accessible. Oh, he's hitting the ball well.
Someone might be feeling his oats after that match with Ralph.
Well, and that's what I was leaning to a moment ago. It's like, okay, I got through that one. I'm in the spot. And this is the greatest spot, of course. You're down to the final 2, but you win one out of these 2 matches, you're in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's always the sweet thing about the hot seat match is not only you have a chance to get to the final right here, but things don't go well, you'll have another opportunity with just 1 win to get back to where everyone wants to get the finals of the tournament. Okay, got a little straight here, so probably just hold his ball and take that shot from pretty much right where the 8's at. I don't think there's any reason to really draw it.
Yeah, it leads back to the 10 ball so well. Just a natural swing, just a little bit of right low.
And watch James. You know, when you play great position, you really go natural. Like I said, you really don't vary the speed of the shots very often. You just kind of grip the cue ball differently.
Wow. He strikes the ball so well.
Well, it looks like Justin Bergman is making this out to advance and eliminate Corey Deuel. And either way, though, both guys playing great.
Yeah, Corey's had a great tournament. He'll end up what 7th, 8th?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure anybody in the tournament has won more matches than Corey, right? He lost very early in the tournament. He lost his second round, is that correct? And been going through the loser side for some 3.5 days.
Let's take a look. Let's see if we can find Corey Duel.
Well, Justin Bergman with a pretty routine 10 ball.
Here is Corey. Where'd he come from? He played 5 matches on the one-loss side, and
So maybe he lost his third match.
3 matches.
Yeah.
He lost his. Oh, he won 3 matches. He won 3 matches on the winner's side. He lost his 4th match.
Okay. So still has played a lot of matches. He played 9 matches in the tournament.
He actually lost to Ralph Souquet.
Oh, okay. Well, Ralph has, I'm sure, started his one-loss side match. Maybe not. Maybe he had to wait on that match between Justin and Corey did. One of the players did for sure. So, and I think it would be Ralph, actually. One of the guys coming off the winner's side on a loss will play Justin for sure.
Karol Skorsky is waiting on him.
Oh, he missed those a little. But really good timing with the pop. So
The 8.
got a lot out of it, and what a nice shot. Actually, the one ball's pretty identical to where it was in his last break. And, well, up 3-0, right? Nerves flowing. What a nice nice out here to get a 4-0 lead.
I would call the 4-0 lead commanding.
Well, yeah, it's
Especially-
puts a lot of pressure on Chang, and we don't really see pressure when we're talking about Chang too much. You don't visually see it, but we know that the blood flows in him just like all of us.
Mm-hmm. And plus, James is playing so well. He hasn't made any mistakes.
Okay, he's going to want to fall pretty heavy on the 4. No reason, so he'll pinch this cue ball to the side rail. He's a right-hander, so no problem reaching the 4 here in a moment. And really just nice and heavy on the 5 is fine. He'll draw the cue ball back just a little past where it's at now. So Chang, somewhat like a match we saw early in the tournament with Tyler Steyer, really hasn't, he broke the balls and got snookered. And then he broke the balls dry. So he's really only had 2 strikes of the cue ball here in our winner's side final.
Only match I saw him on this table was versus Dennis Grabe, which went hill-hill.
It was kind of a scrappy match. There
Yeah.
was a lot of
Yeah.
kick safeties and
Well, they went back and forth till Chang won 3 racks in a row,
yeah.
and then Grabe won 2, and for hill-hill, and Chang won the last one.
Yeah, it was a funny layouts to where the balls were kind of hard to run out. There were a lot of safeties. There were some rollouts, a lot of jump shots. Unlike this match, it's been a lot of running out for James Aranas.
So far in control. So look for Skorsky and Bergman.
And I would think they're going to move the loser side to just one side of these outer tables, right?
I hope it's this side so we can watch it.
I don't think so. I think it's the other one.
Yeah.
So. But that's okay. Well, like I said, we'll get some updates as the matches progress a little bit. Of course, this one's progressing fast, so quickly. Okay, I don't think Chang really changes much here. Broke them really nice this first rack, second rack pretty nice, and it was a dry break, but a little off. So the one's gonna, a nice kiss there, and one that was probably needed there, George.
No, he just follows right up or for the 2 ball. He might even swing over, huh?
Yeah, he'll swing over and then just get above the 2 a little. That'll bring him down the middle of the table for the 3, and you can see middle of the table on the 3 is perfect to get to the 4-1 rail. May go 2 rails here, we'll see, but either way, he's close enough he can manage either. I kind of like 2 rails here, I think.
Do you?
Well, it's close. I mean, you definitely want to get a little angle on the 3 ball to go around around the 9 to get back on the 4.
And plus, with 2 rails, there's no shot of overshooting. No, you know, you're going to come right at the ball. This looks good.
And you can see our arena definitely filling up.
Beautiful arena with those Predator LED lights. I saw the name for them. I forgot what. They're rectangular, and I was on the Predator site, and there's a name for them. I got to get that, but table has the diamond table has a Predator cloth. They're playing with the Predator balls.
He's got a choice here with inside or pulling this ball, so it's right on the border. He's going to put a little left English here. Okay, so Chang recognized the 8's very accessible. If the 8 wasn't, you know, if the 8's on that back rail a little bit, he wouldn't have fallen so straight on this 5. He would have definitely had a little more concern about the angle on the 5 ball and trying to get the cue ball off the rail. But now with the 8 over the pocket pretty much, he can roll it, get kind of straight on the 6 and roll it in. Well, a little funny, right?
He's a
he's got to
little
go to the
underneath
rail.
it. He's got to go to the rail and back out.
The only thing that usually happens here is a little bit of an underhit maybe, and he gets a little bit over the 10, like maybe bridging like a foot over the 10, something like that. Because he doesn't want to scare the 9, right? You don't want to scare getting behind the 9 or over the 9. So
This looks actually a little straighter than I thought at first.
well, he's taking dead aim. So.
Yeah. And, he's gonna come
And
right
he
up.
was,
Yeah, he was a little straighter.
He doesn't miss
Laid
his
up
mark
nice.
much.
No, he doesn't. That looked pretty. We just didn't see the angle from up here that he saw. Made it look very easy as he made this rack.
Chang looked a little frustrated there the last couple of shots, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I know he's down 4-0. He really hasn't done anything wrong though, and just like I mentioned last night, he plays the game in kind of a long-term manner. That's why you see him always thinking to where he wants to play that steady pull, you know, every match and kind of see where it ends up, you know, and it ends up pretty well for him most of the time.
You know, and you say that very well. You know, he plays it in a long-term manner. Most guys, I'm down 4-0.
Exactly.
I'm down 4-0,
No.
and they go into a panic. And he's like, okay,
Yeah.
I got to do what I got to do. Control the controllables.
And that comes from a lot of things, I think. Probably correct practice, which I'm guessing he does a lot by himself. You usually get in that long-term mode a little bit more if you lend learning to practice by yourself, just like you're in a match. For some reason, it seems to work better that way. I see guys get a lot more out of it, but I like that mentality of, you know, hey, I know it might not work out this match or this week, but just at the wrong time.
You scratch.
Yes.
You know, it's funny how some of these matches go this way. We talk about the control, we talk about the leads, and then all of a sudden, the tables turn.
Yeah. Well,
How many times have we seen that?
Well, it convinces me all the time. That's how I know this is a true sport. It's just like any other sport we watch on TV, to where, you know, we thought the Super Bowl was done a couple years ago, and all of a sudden the Patriots come roaring back to beat Atlanta. And, you know, it does not matter. It's just how it is. Just like Hill, right? You rarely ever see a break and run Hill.
We talked about that
You
yesterday.
always see
yeah.
that rollout situation or something funny.
It's funny how quick the pendulum can swing.
We're on a great position here, and really no reason to get steep on the 6 in any kind of manner. He can play the 8 from short side if needed. So a lot of people say, I want that angle to play the 8, but that's when you can make that mistake and get a little too steep on that angle, you know, trying to guarantee it on the 6 so you can get a shorter pocket. And you might miss from there, right? Or you might
Sure, I
lose
was going
the
to say
cue ball.
too much inside English, so you could easily miss the ball.
Yeah, so I might have played a little heavier on that 6, and I think he probably was, but just for the other players out there, I mean, these guys can handle a lot, but a lot of amateurs really try to guarantee that angle sometimes and don't recognize that short side on the 8, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you got straighter on the 6, you know, so.
And plus, a lot of amateurs don't like shooting the ball like he just did. That's soft.
Yeah, they're not as comfortable killing the cue ball. Okay, I think we had something in the audience, maybe a picture or possibly someone not paying attention. Now these guys, it's going to be a long day today, but nothing like yesterday. So these guys are impressively coming off a 12 and 13-hour day of pool.
Sure, and the late one.
Yeah, it started early today,
Yeah.
so.
We were here till 1 o'clock in the morning last night, and
He hit that ball full to the
So-
pocket there.
well,
So a little short on the 10, shouldn't be a problem.
this is where they can skid pretty easy, huh? Not there. That wasn't a break and run, was it?
No, it was a break
No.
and scratch by Aranas.
By Aranas, yeah.
Yeah, and he threatened that same side pocket on his second break. He broke him perfect his first, but second break he kind of threatened going over there, and then the third break he lost it in that side pocket. So
Yeah, give you an idea. Those of you that have been watching the Diamond Las Vegas Open, you've seen some fantastic matches. Today at 10 o'clock, we had on the one-loss side, Dennis Serkolio, Karol Skowerski, Corey Deuel, and Bergman just finished up. Filler and Kun-Lin Wu. That one went hill.
who won that match? By
I
the way?
don't know.
Filler?
I looked
think
away.
Filler won
I think
it.
Filler did too, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was watching the end of Chris Robinson's match.
And then Eklinkachi actually forfeited to Copigny.
Yeah. Not sure of that situation. And
Yeah, I got here about 10:15, walked over there, and Copigny's walking away at 10:15.
right.
Either that or he ran 7 and out.
Well, he's capable.
Filler
of that.
lost.
Okay,
Also-
well, I know he was shooting at Hill, so.
Yeah. Well, there's two of the top players, Shane Van Boning and Joshua Filler, out of the tournament. In fact, Filler
Yeah, beat Shane.
beat Shane last night.
Oh, he was going to lose the cue ball there, so a fortunate kiss. And the 2 ball is going to come up for a nice shot in the side. Now he's going away from it a little bit with the cue ball, with the 8 and 5 kind of in the way of the cue ball path. So we'll see. You see the cue ball there. It's going right towards that side pocket.
And see, we always talk about that. Oh, that kiss killed me. Oh, it scratched. And guess what? They can save you too.
He sure can, and he's got to ease this in, I think. Maybe he can get through this and go and not hit the 8 and go 3 rails around the 6. I'm not sure he can. Oh, he's going to catch the 6.
Don't get in front of it. And yes, it didn't.
No, he's all right.
Wow, for a second I thought it was going to get there.
And probably going to look at a short side position here. He could put a top right English and swing the ball a couple rails between the 4-7, but he's got 3 pockets. 4 in the side. I think it goes by the 6 in the upper corner. It definitely goes by the 8. But I wouldn't doubt this guy doesn't mind moving the cue ball. Okay, so he is He's not looking at the short position, so he's going to track the cue ball between the 4-7 a couple rails. Okay, nice shot.
And the 10 ball's not in his way. He's going to come straight back for the 5.
I think so.
It looks that way. You know, I must say, you know, Jeremy and I have the best seat in the house here. We have the screen in front of us. We get to watch the players from here. We've seen some awfully good pool these last. This is the 4th day of the event, and started out with matches that were just could be a final in any worldwide tournament. And after we did a little research, we found out that we have 34 or 35 of the top players in the world in the WPA rankings here on site at the Rio. So we've seen some fantastic quality, high quality pool.
He's got a choice here to stun 1 rail. A lot of times, though, Chang will creep this cue ball 2 rails and just get to about the head string. It looks like now he's stunning it, though. Nice shot.
Shot clock going off.
Now he fell a little funny. Meaning he's going to have to put some stun on this to get out and not get too thin on the 8. That way he can play easy shape on the 9. He doesn't have to move the cue ball.
He's got the
there you go.
Yeah, to come right out.
But he had to put a little effort into that.
Yeah, he did.
Into that. It wasn't just let me lay it up on the backside of the 8 and have a funny angle. So very aware. And that's where a lot of people look at it like it's easy. Well, yeah, it's supposed to be pretty routine for these guys, but it's still a shot that requires some, you know, awareness and execution.
See how nice he's falling here to get off the rail.
Yeah.
Would you like to be out like maybe an inch further?
Yeah, and I think he's close enough to it, though.
Yeah.
This is where don't force it. There's still plenty of angle to move the ball out a good 4 or 5 inches. So a lot of people try to force it instead of just use the little angle.
Yeah. Plus it's off the rail.
Yeah.
We'll see how quick things close up.
And Chang will be breaking in game number 8 at 4-3. Oh, no, excuse me, Aranas will. That's right. Chang won the lag. I believe our final is scheduled for 5:30, and you know how the final day goes. The guys take a little more time when they can. So as great a job as CSI and Predator has done, I expect a 5:30 final, and it'll be close to that, but could be a hair behind.
5:30 it is.
And we're going to have, of course, this 11:30 round that we have going on right now, a 1 o'clock, a 2:30, a 4 o'clock, and a 5:30. CSI on Predator will let you know which ones you'll be able to capture right here on the screen.
Keep in mind that if that coupled we have 2 spots or 3 spots that are of these players that are going to gain entry into the Predator World 10
I
ball.
believe it's 2, yeah. Actually, I talked to one of the Predator people earlier and just confirming that the just like originally, the top 2 finishers that aren't guaranteed in the tournament already will qualify.
Good shot for Chris Robinson to get in there.
Yeah, I believe he's in there anyways. And deserving, really. I mean, he's played great. One thing I've liked that I've seen is the resolve from Chris, meaning even in tough situations, it looks like he really has been practicing because he really believed in what he was doing, no matter how difficult the shot was. Made a couple shots in some hill matches that were just
unreal.
Yeah, as good as anybody in the tournament. Funny shot here, though, right? I mean, Do you move the cue ball a lot here, George, or do you just try to use the 6?
I think he's going to cut this in.
Really?
No. Just use the 6.
Yeah, and that's a great shot. He knows that, Chang kicks great, so he could kick this in or put him back behind the 6 with a little draw here, or even top English, depending on how he wanted to hit it. But I mean, that's about all you have really to get the snooker, right?
And those are really touchy shots. He hit that very, very well. Oh, nicely done.
Yeah, that's.
Too bad it leaked out for him.
Yeah, but just like many safeties, the best you can do is play that speed to leave him on the rail.
And the distance.
Well, James has got to kind of put a little oomph on this one to come 2 rails above the 2, or maybe get into the 2 ball a little bit. And it's kind of the more comfortable way to shoot this, especially from 7 feet away. It looks like he comes 2 rails above it and has a little cut shot on the 2 if he makes it. Great
And
shot.
he made it, and there's the little cut.
Be interesting to see if he kills this with some low outside. I would probably come across the 2nd rail here, yeah.
Think he'll go above the side pocket or just stay below it?
Yeah, just stay below it, I think.
Not risk
Yeah.
the 5 or the pocket. Yeah, he's staying right down.
Yeah, just kind of play what it wants to do, really, when you can. Especially when the nerves are high. People don't realize not only is it a better way to play position a lot of times, trying to find a natural path for the cue ball, but when tension is high, it's really the best way. Because you believe in it a little more. You don't tend to overhit the ball. Trust it a little more. Now, I'm not sure he was trying to go on that side of the 4, but.
Neither am I. But I was going to say his speed was very, very nice if he was. Yeah, I thought he might put a little left on there and go for the other side.
And the only reason is because how clear the other side was, meaning you don't have to contend with the 10 ball when it comes to moving the cue ball for position. That looks perfect, though. Even if it's overhit a little bit, he can draw out of it.
I think Joey might call this ball in hand shape. Although I think it'd be a little lower than that. So you can just go right into the rail, but he's perfect.
Okay, so a choice here. He'll probably go up and down. He could float it. It's just kind of up to him. I think the way the table's playing, though, and kind of feel like he's going to just go with a straight ball up and down. Oh, he floated it. Okay, nice shot. That's where that being at the table really makes a difference. Seeing it, it's just I thought that was much thinner.
I like the way he floated that ball down. It didn't put any side spin to bring the side pocket into play. You just let the natural angle take it over to where it's at, staying short of the rail in the side pocket. And gaining his 5th win once he makes his 10 ball.
I like him pulling this a little bit. He's going to hit it with a high ball. Okay, good shot.
Well, he rattles off the first 4 games. Chang comes back with 3 of his own, and Aranas takes that one for a 5-3 lead. I was looking at some information that I kind of research every now and then, and AZB's money list, he's 7th. Aranas is.
Oh,
for the year so far. Yeah.
Not sure exactly which tournaments they recognize.
They try to capture everything. I thought I saw some actually it was Bergman that had the showing at Derby City where he had 5th and 9 ball, a 6th in one pocket. But Aranas I looked at that and I just glanced at it, saw that he was 7th. It was information I looked for when he was playing Bergman. Too bad he can't be one of your hopefuls for Moscone Cup, huh?
Who's that?
James Aranas.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, love more numbers, more great
More
players.
to choose from, yeah.
Yeah, of course, it's always
Yeah.
a numbers game, but I think we're doing pretty good right here in America. We've got 2 players left out of this final 6 or 8. I think Chinese Taipei has 2 players left. Of course, the Philippines, I think only with James left. Germany, represented by Ralph Souquet. And then maybe a Polish player, Skalwerski.
Skowerski's still in.
And then actually 3 Chinese Taipei with Wu, Chang, and Ko. Believe Ko's still.
Ko is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he came across it there. We talk about it if you're going to miss them balls, even when you're hitting the timing well. Breaking from the right side, you come across the left side of the 1. A little more so in 9 ball using the template. That's the way to miss the corner ball. But also in 10 ball, you can miss those balls in the side. The 4-railer usually doesn't go as often. Does he come straight down and take the cut on the 2 ball? Like, he can come straight down between the 7-5 and take a little bit of a cut on the 2, which is not a scratch, I don't think.
Well, he's got to get way over to the...
Like right beside the 7, though. Just come straight down.
straight down.
Yeah, that offers a nice cut. You go by the 6, back up for the 3-4. The reason why I say that is he's up 5-3, and this is Chang's break. You want to get that shot on the 2 to get this run started and give yourself a good chance to win this game. Now, it looks like he's cueing it maybe with a low English, trying to pull the ball tight.
I was going to say, how about 2 rails, but that 8 ball is going to come into play if he
he hit it great.
Yeah, he's going to have a shot. Wow.
He hit it great.
I was looking.
He really got a lot on the cue ball there.
He did, because I was looking at that avenue, and I thought the 9 ball would come into play unless he held it tight like he did. But then I thought he risked the chance of getting behind the 8, and he went past the 8.
Well, the good thing for him is he can just take the shot on the 3, but from between the 7-5 with the 4 hanging. Oh, he's coming across. Okay, watch out. This is surprising to me that I thought he would lay that cue ball up a little bit, but maybe there was a little danger there laying it up.
Floating the ball, just floating the ball. It was a thin cut, and he'd have to hold it.
Okay, it looks like now he comes 1 rail right towards the 5 for the 5 in the corner, which really offers nice position on the 6. Well, he's getting through the ball well. Yeah. And staying aggressive, too, with the line, so. James Aranas in a prime position here with just 6 balls left to get on the hill and breaking.
There's a good shot of the Predator Arena lights reflection on those balls. Now, for some of those guys that used to use the lights to aim with, it's a little tough, isn't it?
Yeah, I never understood that one myself, but I mean, I could kind of see it, but it's almost like picking a spot on the ball to aim at.
I think in certain situations you can.
You can. If the tables are lined up.
The tables are lined up right,
and
and it's certain shots that are close to the middle of the table. They line up pretty nice.
I know there was a cross corner banking thing that someone was showing me on when the tables were lined up a certain way. You could use the light to find your spot to bank the ball.
Well, like the way the tables are lined up here, I think when you're banking the ball and there's a table next to it, you bank the side pocket on the other table.
There you go. You better trust the setup, guys, is all I can tell you.
Exactly.
All right, James Aranas in a really good position here, and going to be up 6-3 and breaking in what will be the game number 10.
Does this drag down the same rail?
Well, you can do either, but the thing is, don't force it. Meaning, if you need to let it go across, do it like that.
Yeah.
You know, don't try to say, oh, I got to hit this perfect draw stroke pulling it up the side rail, you know.
Look how nice he hit that. Just to get on the hill.
And another one of those guys that I'm sure many, don't want to see gaining that confidence in these bigger moments because he's definitely got the skills. James is going to take his time
Little
out.
time out for you guys. Give you time to go get something to drink. And here we go. Players are back in the arena. James Aranas about to break the balls. Young man from the Philippines. On the hill.
He hit him great. I'm not sure what results he's going to get.
2-ball? Nope.
No.
Well, it's going to be like the day outside today is. Kind of dry. Cloudy, but it's been rainy here in Vegas the last 2-3 days.
Yeah, off and on. He's pretty straight here, so good chance he'll have to shoot the 2 from a little distance. Only reason being is he doesn't want to get super thin on it. And maybe he can force this ball to the rail and back out and get a little closer to the 2. But the good thing is the 3's over the pocket. So that makes position from the 2 to the 3 much, much easier. Just imagine if you change the 3 and 4 ball around, you look at things much tougher. But
good look at that Predator Revo. Cueing the ball. Just has to make sure to avoid getting behind the 5.
And do you really push the envelope here, trying to get over and back, or do you just try to draw beyond the 5? I think he's going to pull this ball
over and back. I think,
or underneath the 5, like one rail, like this. See, he got over and back easy. Okay.
Well, if he stays on the side of the rail, now he's going to have to be careful, holding the cue ball for the 4.
Oh, absolutely. I just thought he might pull it like the same way, but make sure he doesn't. If he pulls on that side of the 5, the far side, he never gets snookered. And I didn't know if that was a possibility or not, but definitely didn't want to get thin on the 3.
He just got real nice there. And
heard one beep of the shot clock there.
I didn't think it took that much time. It's been going off early every so often.
Well, 30 seconds goes pretty quick, and
when you're daydreaming in the booth.
Well, I'm trying to learn something from these guys myself, George.
Yeah. I've seen some shots that have got my attention.
Okay, he's gotten a little off here, so don't think he's going to play the side, so may be able to follow down through this ball past it. The good thing here is he's got the 7 all the way up as a choice also. So if he can go past the 6 and he falls a little heavy, past the side to get to the 6, and he falls a little heavy, he can just go forward with the cue ball and play the 7 all the way up. Main thing here is stay off the rail with the cue ball.
Well, he's gotten just right where he's going to go 2 rails for the same pocket on the 7.
And he doesn't want to get too far away from the 7, so not that it's a big problem, but you'll notice the 8 doesn't go by the 10. I'm not sure it goes by the 9 in the side, so you want a little angle to be able to draw back or go forward, so should stun 2 rails out.
Look how nice he hits that.
That's just perfect there.
That's a professional level shot, folks. Nice spin, in tight to the pocket, close to the corner, but not too close. Spinning right out for a perfect position for his next shot. Looks almost, the reflection of those lights looks almost like a square bear claw. See that on the 8?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Looks like a dog's print or something.
I'll tell you, instead of babying those strokes there, you'll learn something from Chang. He addresses the cue ball with that draw that way he can kill the ball really well, but still not have to baby it so much. He can put a little bit more authority into the stroke, which is always good, especially under high tension.
Well, that's a 3rd break and run from Chang. Out of his 4 wins.
Yeah, in his first 2 breaks, he got snookered and then a dry break. Now he's been leaning that cue ball towards that side pocket on the break, so he's got to fix that a little bit.
Both players are, I think I mentioned this earlier, are playing with Predator equipment. There's a good shot of his Predator Black that he plays with. Beautiful cue, little extension that he uses. In fact, I forgot who he was playing yesterday or the day before, where I noticed they were both using a little extension. Let me look at my...
Well, that's where I think like cues really match up different things, and talk about a type of player that you might initially think would use an extension would be a guy like Chang, tall man,
exactly,
tall man,
yeah. Makes sense.
A long, wide wingspan.
Plus, I think the extension makes more sense than a longer shaft.
Yeah, and it just kind of depends on that. But yeah, when I think about, I see some of the guys play with the extension. To me, it just doesn't seem like it agrees sometimes with not only their build but their stroke. But his is so mild and lengthy. I think that's like the prototype for the extra weight and a little bit longer cue.
It's going to looks dry.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about, though. You see, he broke from the right and he missed it on the left again. That's just like 9-ball with the template. That's how you miss the corner ball. Was same thing with 10-ball. That's where you don't get the balls really agreeing with what you're trying to get accomplished.
So you think it's better for the players to go more to the center?
Well, no, just when you break from the right side,
Okay.
right, and you hit the left side of the one.
Oh,
okay,
gotcha.
And that's happened 3 times
When you go
here.
Brooklyn?
Yeah, Brooklyn side
Okay.
a little bit, yeah. It doesn't always cost you in 10-ball like it does in 9-ball. 9-ball, you'll miss the corner ball, believe it or not, at an amazing rate when you cross it over.
And plus the scratch.
Yeah, plus the scratch, yeah. So probably the shot of the hot seat match right here to... If he gets this one down, very natural position to just come out above the 7 and have the 3 in the corner. Oh, he hit it sweet. He hit it sweet. And he's gotten perfect, George. He's just like 2-inch drawback right here, 3-inch maybe.
Well, he's had a couple shots. That opening shot on that one ball that he spun in.
Oh,
remember that?
That was a great shot. But it's amazing how great these guys are because, James, just like Chang, they're thinking playing long term when it comes. But he knew that was the shot to win the match probably and win this winner side, that 2-ball. He can't get ahead of himself, but he could recognize that, hey, if I bury this one, I'm supposed to get out.
The key shot.
Yeah, just a little bounce off the second rail here. Oh, he floated it. Okay. I thought he would check it up, and that's a nice shot, though.
And stay well below the side.
Yeah. And just because James will do that a lot, direct the cue ball a little bit more with the path. That way, the bounce off the rail is pretty easy to gauge. And he's got a little decision here. Does he just hold the ball very easy for the cut? That brings you out for the 7. Or does he go behind the 7 for a little straighter position on the 6?
There's your answer.
Oh, that was a nice stroke. And now he's just perfect.
Well, this hot seat match has produced more break and runs than any match I've seen on the stream tables. On the stream table.
Well, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it,
Yeah.
George? That's why these guys are our last 2 undefeated.
The cream rises.
That's right. No coincidence why these guys are here. Just a little drag shot there. And he'll want to draw this back to an angle. Rather than get that funny flat from some distance, he'll want to draw back about a foot, probably. And that way, if he falls a little thin, he can easily come across and play the 10 in the opposite corner, or he can draw back.
That's right.
Yeah, I think he wants. Yeah, that's about where I'd want to get, about a foot back.
Now, which side of the 10 do you think
He'll
he's coming to?
He'll pull this up the left side of the table, our left side. You're looking at the screen. Just get into it with a little draw. Oh, he came across. Okay, so probably because the table maybe is a little more bouncy. Plus, he's just been playing that shot the entire time.
He
right?
has.
Yeah.
Now, see, when I was looking at that shot, I was thinking, I always back away from bringing it straight down because of the side pocket.
Yeah.
And he's won that match.
Well, can't take much away from Chang. He's playing great. Just wasn't to be in that one. But James Aranas has won our winner's side, and he'll be back in the final at 5:30. Stay tuned.